everything about you. Why do I love you? I hate everything about you. Why do I love you? That's Danielle and Carolyn's song.
By who?
Fuck. Blink 182. I don't know. Somebody. I put it in I posted a picture of them to have people comment their thoughts.
You did.
And I had that song as
people
it.
were talking in
They
there.
were. There's a lot of comments on that. Follow our TikTok at the Shade of It All podcast.
I was about to pull it up. Let me stop.
Yes.
Yeah. Not yes. Yes, please. Maggie,
Don't
quit
do
it.
it.
Don't do it. Hey, y'all.
Welcome back to the Shade of It All. I'm Brandon.
I'm Magdala.
And we're here to talk about
Back with another banger. Another great episode of the Traitors.
Yes.
Episode 9.
This one was crazy.
Great. Actually, it was very mild until the end. I was like, oh, we're just hanging out. We're doing our thing. But just slowly brewing into a banger.
Yeah, this one, it took an emotional turn.
It did.
Had us on our toes.
It did.
Were you surprised by the ending?
I didn't get to be because I saw the TikTok, but it's fine. It's fine.
Well, okay.
I don't care that much.
With my TikTok, I did post. I didn't know when Maggie was going to watch it, but I was just like, I'm sure she'll stay off TikTok until then. I don't know, but we'll see.
No, it's fine.
But I tried to make sure in the picture, I didn't say who went home. I just said, oh, this was crazy. And I just had Carolyn and Danielle in it.
Yeah.
But the comments.
They were like,
yeah.
I was like, and I always look at comments.
Right. And I wasn't sure how many comments we were going to get. But this one, there's some discussion, which is nice. So
I think each week I've been spoiled because the Traitors is on my news feed.
yeah.
So people do like their thing. It's fine though.
I low-key got spoiled because I had a suspicion because of Hat Theory, which we've discussed in previous episodes.
Brandon was right.
And then I just thought it, but I was just like, you know what? You never know. Maybe it's somebody else. But then Twitter, right before, ruined it. It was just like, have some respect on Danielle's name. And they had a clip of Carolyn's reveal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, fuck, why are you posting this now? The episode just dropped. I can't. But you know what? It is what it is.
It is what it is.
But we're going to jump into it. Maggie, kick us off.
Let's get to it. All right, so episode 9 begins. We were on a bit of a cliffhanger last episode. Carolyn and Danielle were in the turret trying to figure out, should we recruit someone? They have an option to recruit or just murder. But if they recruit, they can't murder. So they're trying to figure out what to do. So the last we heard, Danielle wants to bring in Brittany. Carolyn's like, hell no, not Brittany. So we start again, and the first thing is said is, let's bring in Brittany. So Danielle is still like, hey, I don't think you heard me. I want to bring in Brittany. She's really pushing it.
Danielle was being very annoying with this.
You think with the Brittany stuff?
Just with the Brittany stuff.
Yeah.
Because I was just because she would be like, Carolyn, why? I don't know, Carolyn, please. I have to make so many sacrifices. And I'm like, Danielle, not because of Carolyn did you make these sacrifices, first of all. It was always because of Boston Rob if you made any sacrifices,
True.
with who to kill.
True.
If we're really going to talk about who had to sacrifice their voice in their game, it really was Carolyn up until this point.
Yeah.
As far as she was kind of pushed around. And also,
I think both of them, but Carolyn more so, because Danielle did get to win sometimes.
Yeah, and then also Danielle was throwing around Carolyn's name for no reason.
Yeah, so. Danielle, you're acting like Carolyn has every reason to trust you, no reason to be upset. You played in her face, girl.
Yeah.
And you didn't even say sorry, and she had to find things out without you informing her. That's insane.
That is, but
so Carolyn's like, no, and Danielle's like, but it's a win. It's a win-win. If we get Brittany, we're gonna win. And Carolyn's like, no. And in her confessional, she's like, you already threw me under the bus with them. Why would I get with you guys to do this? So Danielle's just like, okay, Carolyn, I concede. I give up. So then they start discussing who to murder instead.
Yeah.
And Danielle's like, Dylan. And Carolyn's like, no, we need him. We need the rivalry in the game is what she said. And I was like, what rivalry?
The one between him and Gabby. Because Danielle was like, oh, we could kill Dylan and blame Gabby. And then Carolyn was just like, but we need that rivalry as like a distraction.
I didn't even peep that they had one.
Yeah, just because Dylan keeps voting for Gabby. It's fairly one-sided.
Oh, and they did have a conversation this episode. I guess it was like jogging my... I guess I didn't think of it as a rivalry, but they do. They're playing.
Yeah, it's just random and basically just Dylan.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's still funny.
Yeah. Then Danielle's like, what about Sam? He has influence. And Carol's like, he plays like people have been listening to him, but not that much. He doesn't have that much influence. And she's like, all right. Well, what about Dolores? And then she's like, well, they would never think of Dolores. And Carolyn's like, but she trusts us. And so Danielle's like, okay, Carolyn, who do you want to kill? Because none of her ideas are flying.
Right. And so I will say Carolyn in that moment was kind of annoying me. I'm like, okay, well, you can't say no to everything. Like, y'all got to do something.
Exactly.
So if you're not going to recruit, you got to murder. And you're giving nothing, which I get. Maybe you're frustrated, but...
Yeah, like... there's like a fine line between like playing as a team member and then playing for yourself, and you should at least pretend sometimes to want to go along with somebody else, and both of them are terrible at it right now.
They are.
Like, okay, let it go. Well, what do you think? Okay, but you know, like try to have a discussion, but they don't trust each other, so it makes sense. In her confessional, Danielle's like, our kingdom is crumbling. Like, this is the worst case scenario. This is not going well. And then Carolyn in hers is like, they don't trust each other whatsoever, so it's just who gets who first. And I was like, oh, so we're back to fighting. I wonder if something else happened.
Probably.
Because this is like last week y'all worked together fine. Not the best, but it wasn't like this. But now all of a sudden you're both like, they're kind of setting the field to be like, we're going after each other now.
Yeah, I think maybe Carolyn is just like, you're trying to get Brittany, which means you're trying to get rid of me. So that reopened. And then Danielle's like, you're not doing what I say. So she's like annoyed.
I can't work with you. I got to get you out.
Right. So
now she has a reason to want her out.
I mean,
as opposed to the first time.
This is at least somewhat of a reason. The only reason she's got. But
yeah,
it's something, I guess. But we cut to breakfast the next day, and the first people to come in are Gabby and Carolyn. And Gabby goes, we need to stop going after big personalities. Like, we gotta stop. Like, we gotta do something different. But I'm totally down with the Danielle thing. Like, because like her theatrics is just like too much. And I'm
which
like,
is valid.
And it is. And Carolyn's just like, yeah, girl, totally. I love you, Carolyn. Don't
Carolyn,
change.
you're literally so awesome. Like, I wish I could be like you.
And I actually felt bad for you at the end because I felt like Danielle was taking some jabs that weren't nice. But we can get into it. But you know, Brittany and Tom arrive. Tom does his opening the door and he's like, huh, ta-da! I'm like, stop.
It's like, I made it. Number one, faithful here to save the day.
He really... and like... he just really thinks he's a more valuable player than he is. And I'm like, I'm just going to reiterate right now. You were right about Boston Rob when it was very obvious it was Boston Rob and you did not have a relationship with him. Great. That's still good, but don't act as if you're like this big threat because every other thing you've said,
wrong.
The most wrong.
And you're still out here talking about fucking Dolores. Like, please, Tom. Miss me with all of that nonsense.
Brittany's saying she has loyalty to Danielle and hopes she isn't murdered. Iva and Danielle arrive. Danielle says she's always 20 steps ahead and is gonna plant seeds about Carolyn. And I'm like, okay, we'll see about those seeds.
Did you say Iva?
Okay, so I said Iva.
Is that how you say his name?
Because they said on Carolyn's now not podcast she's on.
She's not on it anymore?
We'll get into that in just a second because I don't know what happened, but there's some tea. But she said that Brittany was on it and said that he pronounces it Iva. I guess that's like the British way to say it.
I love how you just said it casually and then you didn't even explain it. I want to know too.
Oh, sorry.
You're just going to make me say it wrong?
I have the knowledge.
So you can correct,
I have the knowledge.
So you can correct me? It's actually Iva.
Just, you know.
No, that makes sense.
Iva.
That makes sense. He's English.
That's why Gabby said it sometimes too, I think. Because sometimes she would say Iva.
See, the way Gabby speaks, I wouldn't have thought second about it.
I know, right? But I guess
funny.
I think you could say it either way, though.
Yeah.
But with that podcast I was talking about with Carolyn, they randomly deleted the Britney episode on YouTube.
Why?
And then she put on the Patreon that she's not posting on there anymore and to follow her personal Patreon. And then her and Carson unfollowed each other on Instagram. And she's not saying exactly what happened, but she's just alluding to, I need to do something that feels more myself or something. So
interesting.
I don't know about the drama. I mean, I get it because she didn't seem that like, with podcasting, he like very much wanted like segments and breaks and like, I don't know, just like have it more uniform and would sometimes, I don't know, but
interrupt her and stuff.
Yeah, but she would also interrupt. But I feel like because she was like explaining, and I feel like her personality doesn't fit in a podcast.
Yeah,
she fits more just like, I think she's just gonna do videos explaining, and to me that makes more sense.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And I mean, we're here for Carolyn, not you, Carson.
That part.
What do you have to talk about?
I don't know you, like, but okay.
I mean, I guess when Survivor comes on, but like, she's on the show.
Yeah.
I wonder if they deleted the Britney's episode because she said too much. Maybe. She violated an NDA.
I was wondering because I couldn't remember if it was on the YouTube or the Patreon, but Britney said something like she'll have something to say about Iva in the next couple weeks, kind of alluding to they make it to the finale. So I don't know if maybe that was like heard and they were like, oh, you gotta get rid of that or something.
I wonder.
I don't know. But we'll see.
That's interesting.
But yeah, so
what? You're a patron of nothing?
Well, I had already, like, I did the one for like a month because I was like, I don't need it for any longer. Like, it was only like $5. And like, what am I going to need after Traitors is over? But then I was just like, let me subscribe to Carolyn to get the tea and see what she's going to post. So we'll see. She posted something on Instagram as well as her Patreon, some like journal entry she had about Danielle that was kind of funny. And she wore like a fake hat. But yeah, that was only $5 too. So we'll see if there's any tea spilled.
Okay, keep me posted.
Yeah.
That's tough.
That is. I wonder what happened because like it seems to be some drama if they unfollowed each other.
Yeah.
But we gotta be on the beat with that.
How do you break up a podcast? Like, you just stop?
I've been meaning to tell you.
Like, we have to do this forever. You know, right? Like, we gotta.
I know. I couldn't even pretend it like we're not stopping ever.
Why would we?
That part.
I mean, unless one of us passes away. Like, that's the only way you're getting out of this.
Literally, because even if one of us were to move, we started virtual.
We could do it back virtually. Ain't no problem.
That part. So, like, and one day this will be something.
It will be.
It is something, but it will be even more.
It will be more
Y'all
of
know
something.
what I mean.
A bigger something. Stay tuned.
Manifestation.
Oh, yeah, you know what? You gotta say it.
Yeah, you gotta say it. Speak it, believe it. Back to the episode. Dolores arrives. I love Dolores. I like her voice. Gabby says if the traitors are smart, they'll kill Dylan, which at first I didn't agree because I was like, oh, he is a good ally to Danielle and Carolyn. But then as the episode went on, I was like, maybe they should have. Yeah,
because he's really been on his like, okay, we gotta investigate. It's coming down to the wire.
Right.
He put his thinking cap on.
He did. He was like, let me borrow Boston Rob's thinking cap and put that on.
Boston Rob left me his hat.
And so I put it on and all of a sudden I saw everything so clearly. So it's between Dylan or Sam of who got murdered. And it's revealed Dylan is alive and entering breakfast. Sam was murdered. I will pretend to cry a tear because I will never forget how he led the charge for Sierra's demise.
In his confessional, he really looked like he didn't care. He's like, so this was fun.
I played with honor and respect.
And I did my best.
Cool. Great.
That was it. Thanks for nothing, Sam.
Thanks, Sam. Gave as much as you gave all season. But we get a slight flashback to the turret where Carolyn's basically just like, we should get Sam because he's catching on and it won't be pinned on them. I was like, okay.
I was like, so why did you have to disagree at first?
It'd be like that sometimes. Sometimes you gotta disagree before you can agree.
Yeah.
But Alan arrives with his little alfalfa ponytail.
I was like, so your outfits always eat. And I'm not going to say anything.
The outfit was fine.
I think it was for what he put on his head later. But still, I was like, it's not necessary.
It was giving Lollipop Gill from The Wizard of Oz.
I don't have a designer or a stylist. You do your thing, Alan.
We represent the Lollipop Gill, the Lollipop Gill, the Lollipop Gill. And in the name of the Lollipop Gill, we wish to welcome you to Munchkin Land. We still gotta watch Wizard of Oz.
We do. That's like when Jermaine Dupri showed up at the Super Bowl last year and everyone was like, CeeLo Green! And it's like, no, it's Jermaine Dupri and he's wearing some overalls.
Oh?
And they're like, he looks like a member of the Lollipop Guild.
Oh, gosh.
If I find it, I'm going to show you. It's really
pull it
funny.
up. But Alan just basically announces they have a mission coming up and all that. And
he said something cryptic.
He did, but I didn't write it down.
Catch it. Sorry, Alan. Sorry, y'all.
I didn't either. I was just like, they're gonna play. But Dylan's shocked he's still there and so his realization is whoever is a traitor is close to him because they know he'll be loyal.
Yep.
And they want to bring him to the end. And I was like, astute observation.
That's a very good observation because at some point you have to ask, like, why am I still here? Especially for him. All the other people are like, oh, it could be, it couldn't be. But for him, he's like, they need me for something.
Yeah.
So the way he's thinking makes a lot of sense.
It does. And it's one of those, like, Carolyn and Danielle, y'all in danger, girl.
Yep.
Girl, something's about to happen because Dylan don't care about friendships no more.
I found the picture.
Why the
of
shorts?
Jermaine Dupri, and he's bald. Doesn't he look like CeeLo Green?
He does there. That's not the capris.
Look at his socks. They're frilly socks, and then this little thing.
Why did he do that?
Y'all have money. I don't. I digress.
I digress. I'll still judge, but you do you.
You do you.
I can't. That's funny.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Thank you.
So it's after breakfast.
Yes. So Dylan has his moment, and then a lot of people pair off to just have some conversations. Mm-hmm. So Tom and Gabby talk, and Gabby seems like she can be around Tom all of a sudden. I was like, what's this?
Kind of. She's like sipping her coffee, and she's like, so what do you think?
And they're like agreeing with each other, and I was like, what? Well, Gabby, what?
I think she was like, because she was like, what do you think? And he was like, oh, guys, like, I'm still thinking like strongly it's Dolores. And she's like, right. So like, I just think we're going to see two traitors fight soon. So like, see ya.
Yeah.
So I'm like, because I don't think she thinks it's Dolores. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think she thinks it's Dolores either. But it was just weird to see Gabby not immediately write off Tom or be annoyed to be around him.
She's probably like, it's the end of the game. Let me try to be nice to him.
Right. So then, but while Gabby and Tom are talking, we see a little bit of a clip of Danielle and Dolores talking, and Dolores is saying to Danielle, like, your family's gonna be proud and stuff, which is like kind of adding up because last week we talked about Sierra from Summer House said that Danielle was like swearing on her family and stuff that she was a faithful.
Chriselle confirmed it this week on the Vile Files.
Yeah, so she was really trying to sell it.
And I think what's her name? Carolyn's upset about that too. She mentioned it in her journal. She's like, I hope your grandkids are proud, Grandma.
Because
of Danielle swearing on her grandkids.
I mean, it's a game. I don't know.
It is. It like.
Are you upset you didn't swear on your kids?
I don't know. It's just a game, so I'm just like, it's not that serious, but...
Well, then, okay, well, actually, let me not excuse it. Maybe she's laying it on thick for Dolores to be like, your family is so proud of you. She's probably crying about them a lot and stuff.
True. She could be.
She's probably doing a little too much with it. So I kind of get that.
We'll
like,
see
relax.
At the end.
Oh, gosh. Danielle is an actor.
She wants to be.
So Danielle and Dolores then sit down, and Danielle is like, I can't be scared anymore. I have to like just play and like be really serious. Like, I can't play scared anymore. hang on for the round table and just remember, like, I'm going to, like, put my foot down finally. So she's kind of doing what Derek was trying to do earlier. She's like she's saying things to help people get somewhere without saying it explicitly.
Yeah, and she's just trying to be like, you know, to cover to, like, I'm speaking up because I'm trying not to be afraid anymore, instead of just like, I'm a traitor or something like that.
Yeah.
But she says she's setting the groundwork, and I was a little skeptical at first, but the more and more things are revealed, I'm like, okay, Danielle.
Yeah, no, you ate.
Mm-hmm.
Gabby and Dylan talk, and Gabby's like, are you finally gonna stop thinking it's me? And Dylan's like, yeah, I am alive still, so if it was you, you probably would have killed me by now. And she's like, yeah.
She's like, Dylan always thought I was a traitor, and now he wants to be best friends. They always come back. Ladies, just know he'll always come back. Listen to our latest episode about Summer House to get Maggie's take on that.
100%. I told a cool story. Go listen. No, but she's right. They always come back, these men. So he's like, he is suspicious, and he thinks someone who really trusts him is a traitor. And so they both talk, and they mention Danielle, and they both agree, like, Danielle is suspicious.
Yeah.
And Gabby says, like, he's done... Oh, you already said that. He's done suspecting her, and he wants to get somebody else.
Yeah.
And then Dylan talks to Carolyn, and he says that he thinks Danielle. And Carolyn's ears perk up a little bit. Like, she kind of looks excited when he says this. And she's just like... And he kind of talks some more, and she's like, all right, well, like, if we have a vote, we got to vote for her. Like, we have to be together on this, because she tried once and it didn't work. And so they start talking, and they're like, okay, well, we think Ivar, Dylan, Gabby, and Carolyn would all vote for Danielle. And so they're trying to, like, think of the votes. And Carolyn's like, how many people are left? So she says that to Dylan. And then in her confessional, she's like, is it too soon to take a shot? Should I try now? Is it now or never? What should I do?
It is now or never, because the game's almost over, Carolyn.
Yep.
Now it's the time. You need to plant the seeds and make sure people are on the same page.
Yeah. Then we have this bizarre, I don't know, Brandon, I think I missed a week of the show, because the cast is acting weird. Gabby is talking to Tom like they're like she could be around Tom and she doesn't want to throw up when she sees him. Brittany cries?
This was too much.
Brittany's crying! Brandon, Brittany's crying.
I'm about to get her Patreon so I can see her and her explain herself, because I'm like, I need to know.
She was like, Danielle, I thought that you were gone. And Danielle's like, and they're like both crying, and I'm just like,
please,
what's happening?
Stop this now. I can't.
I get that, like, you were surprised, but, like, why are you crying? And then Danielle's already a crier, so she starts crying too, but for a different reason. She's like, I feel bad, I'm lying, and
I'm a traitor.
And she's gonna be so pissed when she finds out that I'm a traitor and I betrayed her.
I'm like, well, she maybe.
Well, you did make a good point to hold shit against Brittany. So if Brittany held stuff against you, maybe you can't be too upset about it.
Yeah. It was just very emotional, and I wasn't expecting that either. I'm like...
So much.
I'm like, not this crying.
It's like as if, like, you know, a tragedy happened and you found out your friend survived. Like, it was that much emotion. And I was just like, oh my gosh.
I can't. It really, yeah. It was just random. I didn't expect at least Brittany to cry.
I was like, Brittany cries?
Danielle, sure, but Brittany...
I didn't know she did that.
Yeah.
So they have their moment. But Danielle reiterates that she really wants to be in the end game with Brittany. And then Brittany asks if it's Carolyn, and she's just like, let's wait for the round table.
Oh yeah.
Wait for the round table. And it's like, y'all were just crying, now you're like, so is it
anyway, so we're gonna get that bitch Carolyn,
is it
right?
Carolyn? They wipe their tears. Is it
It's Carolyn though, right?
So the only conclusion I can come to is this game must just be like super stressful.
It must be, because even if you like look at Brittany, she looks like she's like drained.
Yeah.
Like her hair is not as brushed. Her face, she's just like...
Yeah, no, all of them, with the exception of Tom and Gabby, all of them look pretty stressed out.
Right. Tom looks like he's more in his element than ever.
Yeah, Tom is just like, I'm the hero and I'm gonna make it to the end. Like, I got to prove myself.
I don't care if he makes it to the end, but I don't want him to win.
And Gabby's just like, I'm getting paid and I'm here. We might find someone, we might not. But everybody else does
all about the moment and experiences.
But
Period.
Ivar looks stressed. I mean, if I was Danielle, I probably would be freaking out and crying too. But I get why she's stressed. Brittany, this kind of came out of nowhere, but I can understand it.
Yeah.
We saw an exit interview for Bob the Drag Queen, and on the day that he got banished, he went to like the mental health person like 3 times. He was having like a panic attack. So I'm sure this is a lot like for them. They've
It's like
probably been there for like a month.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks.
I think it's like 2 weeks. But like it's just like a lot because you're really detached from like the real world.
Yeah.
And then you're just like in the Scottish castle.
Yeah.
And like people are getting murdered.
And I heard they don't sleep in there.
No, they like go to a hotel or something.
Can you imagine? They're like, Gabby, undress in front of this camera. Okay, pack up your stuff.
Now go. Get in this tub. Okay, get dressed. We're going to the hotel.
We're gonna go stay at the Four Seasons. Now watch it be like, we're gonna go stay at Hilton.
I wish they did stay there though. I don't get why they don't.
Maybe it's not a real castle.
Maybe. And there's not as many rooms as stairs as you would think.
Yeah, like the bottom floor is that dungeon, the top is like the turret, and then the middle is just like rooms to eat in. But that's it. And so then they go to head out for their mission.
The mission, and this one is a fun mission.
This is a cool mission.
It's like an oversized chess game.
Yeah.
And basically, the night before in the turret, the traitors answered questions pertaining to the group. And so now everyone in the group has to guess the correct answer of the questions. And if they get it right, they get $5,000 towards the prize pot. And if they get it wrong, they just don't get anything.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting. Danielle is telling us she might sacrifice answers because she wants to like cover herself. So she'll probably give some wrong answers. And Carolyn has kind of a different thing where she wants the money.
Yeah.
Which
And
kind
I
of
was
threw
like,
me off. I was like, she was very much about trying to get money in the prize pot.
I don't think that's the approach.
Not at all. Like, say something, but don't like push the right answers. At least not every time.
Yeah. She had a tougher day this day.
She did. But before they start, Parvati and Kate Chastain enter to host the challenge.
They do.
And they slay in like a black gown and then a white gown.
They're matching.
And like Parvati had like a yassified version of her headbands she used to wear all the time.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
And I was like, okay, I love this.
No, Kate is the reason why y'all got whatever award you got. So I would bring her back every day.
Right.
Like, hey, Kate, here's your check. Thank you. Thank you.
That must be amazing to just come to film like a quick thing in Scotland.
Yeah.
And then just leave.
All expenses, I'm assuming, all expenses paid
Hopefully.
and they pay you to just show up.
Yeah.
Because they really didn't add anything.
No, they just have like some funny commentary.
Yeah.
And then like, but they really didn't have that big of a role. But I was like, whatever.
They're like, do you guys just want to like sit pretty in this like yard real quick? And they're like, sure.
Of course.
We made you these custom dresses. We need them back though.
We need them back. And Parvati, don't steal that fucking headband.
We know you like headbands.
We know you like Harry Potter.
You like Harry Potter. You're an inventor. I know you like Harry Potter.
I know you like headbands. Shout out to you, Ariana. You're
I don't know why. I think I wrote that down for this. Oh, because the chess game, the pieces move by them. One piece moves by itself.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it looked like wizard chess. And all I heard in my head was, I know you like Harry Potter.
It did move like that.
Yeah. Did you watch the first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the first 3 Harry Potter movies. The 4th, Half-Blood Prince.
That's 5th. The 4th one is
Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
It was okay. I thought they got worse after the 4th, but that's just me.
Worse in what way? Like more depressing? Because that makes sense. You don't like
Boring.
sad things. Boring. Yeah. Oh, boring. The movie.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't read the books.
I didn't read books.
You think the movies were boring? Goblet of Fire was boring?
That one was good.
My least favorite movie is actually the third one because it's
Prisoner of Azkaban. I love that one.
because you do it and then you do it again, and
Yeah,
so
but
it's just
different
like,
because they're watching it.
yeah, I get it, but I was just like, I think I just remember seeing it a lot on ABC Family, like popping up, and I just was like, I don't like this one as
Hermione
much.
punches Ron.
Or she punches Malfoy, yeah.
Oh, Malfoy. Yeah, yeah.
And Ron's like, that was brilliant.
I was brilliant,
Brandon has a love-hate relationship with Harry. Wait. Do you know what house you're in?
Okay. I took a quiz at Pottermore, I think like either in high school or right after high school. I think it gave me Slytherin.
That's not a bad thing. That's
But
funny.
I'm willing to take it again. I want to take it again.
Take it again.
Well, just to see, because I think it was Slytherin, but
I'm a Ravenclaw.
I would have guessed Gryffindor.
I like to learn and I like knowledge. No, I don't care about my friends. No, I took it once.
my friends.
Once it told me I was a Gryffindor, but when I was playing the game, the Harry Potter game, it asks you a couple questions and it gives you a house, and mine was Ravenclaw. It's a lot shorter though. But I mean, like, the quiz on BuzzFeed is very leading. It's like, do you want to defend your friends and go on adventures?
That part. It's just kind of
Or
like
do you care about glory and honor?
you can basically pick whatever you want to be.
Right.
So like the Pottermore, it was more like you were picking like random symbols or something.
Oh,
So
really?
Yeah.
Oh, so I feel like that's probably more on par.
Probably. I guess I
Not
could see
bad to be
myself
a Slytherin.
Slytherin.
Snape turned out to be a great Slytherin.
Slytherin's just misunderstood.
Very misunderstood.
Malfoy isn't representative of us.
No.
Or is he?
Well, no, actually, I think he was a pretty good. He didn't want to do all that evil shit. He was like, wait.
Hold up.
Y'all want me to kill Dumbledore?
He's like,
That's crazy.
I'll be mean to Potter, but
Like, I hate Harry Potter, but like, you want me to kill people and shit? Y'all want me to watch this snake eat people and shit? Like, that's too much.
I did not sign up for this. This was not in the job description that I applied for.
This is funny. I love our sidebars today. Thanks for bearing with us.
Thanks, y'all. But speaking of Slytherin snakes, the first chess piece is a snake. So basically, Kate and Parvati are like unveiling the big chess piece and then with the question that's there. So the first one was a snake, and the question was, who is slithering under the radar? We cut to the traitors in the turret, and they said Brittany, because Sierra had said something similar to that in her roundtable where she was banished. The group kind of gets that right because they put together, oh, they probably said this because Sierra said it, so they guess Brittany, and that's the right question.
Yeah. And the whole
Right
time
answer.
during this, Dylan is like, I'm watching Danielle. I'm listening really hard to who is talking and saying stuff.
Listening a little too hard. But the second chess piece is the skull. Who is the biggest threat to the traitors? The traitors pick Brittany because she's speaking up more. Cut to Tom. I think it's me. It's clearly me because of Boston Rom. So like, I think it should be me. And they're like, yeah, Tom, we think it's you too. Yeah.
Yeah. Even Gabby agreed. And I was like, am I in the Twilight Zone? What am I watching?
That part, I'm like, why would he be the biggest threat? Like, I would guess for this one, I would guess Dylan.
Right.
But whatever. I don't know. But they guess Tom, and then when it's Brittany, they're like gagged.
Yeah.
And Gabby's like, we're being bamboozled by the traitors.
The traitors are tricking us.
And Danielle tells us that decision was to protect her game because Brittany knows she doesn't think she's a threat. And I was just like, okay, I guess that's a little bit of a reach, but sure. We'll give you that, Danielle.
Yeah.
The third chess piece is the wolf. In this one, who is the leader of the pact? Tom's like, I think that's me. And then even the traitors are like, we're going to pick Tom because he's too arrogant not to say himself, even if he is a traitor.
That was their reasoning. They're like, Tom is going to say himself. Cut to Tom saying himself.
Yes. But the group is like, no, we think it's Dylan. Which, I mean...
It is Dylan.
Is it? Does he lead though? He's always throwing a rogue vote.
You're not wrong. And
Like, I
he's been
guess he
kinda
led
quiet
Boston Rob, but that was
Yeah.
so long ago.
Yeah, I guess
You
he
know?
doesn't have as much influence anymore. You're right.
Yeah, but also does Tom?
Tom's not leading either. Y'all don't have no leaders.
That part, there's like none.
Rob was really the only like true leader.
He was. But the group is like, no, Dylan. But Carolyn's like, no, actually, I think listen to Tom. It could be Tom. And I'm like, Carolyn, shut up. What are you saying?
And like they're divided, but she's like, no, it's Tom. And this is like weird because Carolyn really doesn't speak up like that. So it's very telling for her to be like, it was Tom.
It is. In the sidebar, Kate and Parvati, they're just like, I'm getting Pilot Pete vibes from that Dylan guy. And Parvati's like, yeah, the goody too. She is totally Pilot Pete.
Yeah.
Like, y'all are funny. But they are shocked the answer's Tom. But Tom is not. He's like, it's fitting. I said it was me. I've often felt like a lone wolf. So I get it. It's like, okay, Tom.
You're supposed to be the leader, idiot. Not a fucking lone
It's not a loner wolf. It's a leader.
He's like, if you think about it, I am like a wolf.
If you think about it, I am like a wolf. I am.
He doesn't even get it. Why is he here?
He really, I can't. Dolores says, Carolyn, though, she was on it. Like, she thought Tom. And she's like, no, I didn't.
No, I was like, bitch, yes, you did.
Carolyn,
you did
no.
it in front of everybody, girl. Come on.
Dolores just like, no, I'm not saying like anything bad. Like, I'm not saying you're a traitor. It's just you thought it was Tom. And she's like, oh, no. And I'm like, and then Dylan immediately is like, he's like sensing it.
He's like, oh shit, it's her. Yeah, Carolyn, you're just like, you could have been like, yeah, I mean, it was a fine guess, but to immediately like, no, it wasn't me.
That part, there was a way to play it off to where it could have been fine, where she could have, just been like, oh yeah, I just thought maybe Tom because he was so vocal at the last time, but you know what, I could see Dylan too, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But instead she was just like weird and defensive.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, girl, that's not how you should be doing this.
No.
But last chess piece is a mouse. And the question is, whose voice is the most irrelevant? The traitors decide Carolyn because she volunteers herself. She's like, oh, clearly it's me because I'm the one that's always like, oh.
Danielle's like,
no
sure.
one's listening to me. And she's like, yeah, of course. You. We'll put you.
Yeah, you're fine. We can put you.
Yeah, and Danielle's like, I disagree to it because you did put more spotlight on you. Like, I don't care. Yes. And then when they're talking, like in the group, immediately Carolyn's like, oh, I think it could be me because I'm always like, no one's listening to me. Oh. And they're like, you do say that. And Dylan's like, but it's not true. And she's like, oh, no, what it is. Oh, look, I just think it's me. I think it's me. And I'm like, Carolyn, let that, like, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe if someone else suggested it and you were
Right.
like, I could see that.
Then run with it.
Yeah, but don't suggest it.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
It was.
And then they agree, and then she's right, but she's like, immediately, she's like, oh, I'm regretting this. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have went over the game? Like, oh, no.
Yeah.
And Dylan's now even more focused on her.
Yeah. He was like, she believes she doesn't have a voice, so she's almost like framing herself, is what he said. Didn't quite understand what that meant.
No, because it's like... It's not really her framing herself. Because, like, she's not trying to make herself look like a traitor.
Yeah, she was just telling you that y'all don't listen to her.
Yeah.
But sure, Dylan.
But
Whatever
okay,
you came up
you're
with.
on the right path, right road, wrong. It's like when you stumble to the right place, but with the wrong directions.
Yeah.
But somehow you find a way.
No, whatever logic he's using.
But basically, the challenge is over, and Danielle's like, "This went perfectly," and some of those answers pointed the fingers towards Carolyn, and they did.
They did, and Carolyn didn't help either. So like, Danielle really kind of ate here. Like she was like trying
She
to.
did.
You know what I thought too? I was like, y'all, the first time we've ever seen y'all agree is on who to pick for this game. And I feel like Carolyn almost dug herself into a hole.
She did. Like, maybe she was so like, oh, yes, finally, we're making decisions. She wasn't able to see what the answer.
She's like, oh, she's listening to me. This is right. And it's like, she didn't think twice. Because she was like, I wonder if Danielle set me up. Did Danielle set you up, or did you set yourself up, sis?
Both.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, Danielle, this is the strategy I've been waiting for. Because Danielle is strategic. She was great at Big Brother. And like Dr. Will just did an interview and he was just like, I would not want to play Traitors with Danielle. In Big Brother All-Stars, I had to go for her because I'm scared of her. Like, she's a cutthroat game player. And I'm like, she is. And like, does her acting suck? Yeah. Is she a bit impulsive? Yes. But she is strategic.
Yes.
So
she is. I think that she's a different person than she was when she was playing Big Brother. And I also think Big Brother is probably a little bit easier in the sense that it's like you're voting people out and it doesn't matter if you really led the charge or not. They're never going to know. Yeah. But with Traitors, everything you do and say is like suspicious. And you have this banishment and murder thing going on. So it's like a bigger almost a bigger bubble than I think Big Brother is.
Big Brother has like more longevity.
And honestly, if Rob never came in, I think she would have been fine. I feel like Rob and like the stress of Rob really made her make erratic choices.
I agree.
Because when it was her and Bob the Queen and Carolyn, they were fine.
They were good.
I think she felt like 100%. Like, I think she felt more isolated with Rob there because she was cool with Bob the Queen.
She was. She had some acting, but it wasn't as bad.
Yeah.
Like Boston Rob really threw a wrench in a lot of things, I think.
Yeah. So.
But it's after the mission.
It is. So in the car ride home, Dylan and Tom are talking, and Dylan's like, Carolyn was being really suspicious, even with her answers about Tom, and Tom agreed. And then Carolyn asks her car if anybody like feels bad or like how they feel about like the upcoming vote. Are y'all feeling okay? And Danielle's like, yeah, all the girls all together, right? Girls, women together, women.
And they're like, of course.
And Gabby says it quick too, and I'm just like, And so in a confessional, Carolyn's like, she's wondering if Danielle set her up, and she's starting to feel nervous. So back in the castle, Tom, Carolyn, and Ivar talk, and they say that they're suspicious of Danielle because she made up lies. Too many people trust her. And then Tom's like, but I think Dolores. So they're not going very far with Tom.
No, he's really stuck on Dolores for some reason.
I don't know why. Last week you said yourself if it was Dolores, you wouldn't be there. Why do you think it's her? He doesn't even really give it. They don't show his reasons. But Carolyn is in her confessional. She's wondering, is this the right time to get Danielle? What should I do? Tom and Ivar. So Carolyn leaves the room, and Tom and Ivar discuss, and they're like, what if it's Carolyn? And Ivar is like, well, if it is her, she's an amazing actress. But they're like, can she pull it off? Does she, like, can someone like her pull it off with her personality and everything? Could it be Carolyn?
Yeah.
And then Carolyn and Dylan talk, and she's like being weird, and she walks up to him and she's like, are you like waiting? Is there somebody here secretly listening? And he's like, no, I was just looking behind the bar to see if anyone was there. And she's like, okay. And then Dolores walks in and she's like, can I just talk to him like by myself? And so they have a conversation, and Dylan is like, it's between you, Carolyn, and Danielle. And she's like, me?
When my name get put in it?
Yeah, she's like, why? And he's like, you guys are gonna make me choose between you. And she's like, what are you talking about, Dylan? And Carolyn's like, that's fucked up if it's just like because I gave evidence. Like, that's crazy, Dylan. And she lays it on thick and kind of makes him feel bad. And she's like, I think
if I was Boston Rob.
Oh yeah, she's like, if I was Boston Rob, would you challenge what I'm saying right now, or are you just challenging it because it's me? Because all my life, Dylan, everybody underestimates me. They don't listen to me, and people don't take me seriously. This happens like my whole life. And she starts to like get emotional.
Yeah, I'm like, oh Carolyn, I believe you, but also you are a traitor.
Yeah. And Dylan his face is red, and he just looks so sad.
Dylan's going through it.
He is, and he's just like, they're both my friends. I don't know what to do. So it's really tough. Dylan has a tough moment. And that they kind of leave it at that. We don't really get the resolution of this.
Yeah.
And then right before Roundtable, Ivar, Dolores, and Danielle talk. And Ivar says Carolyn threw Danielle's name out. And she's like, wow, like, it's a good, like, she's like, me? Okay. Well, I think that she references somebody, I don't know who they are, like some magician or something. Somebody who's
Detective Columbo.
Yeah, she's like, do you know who
Have you heard about Columbo? Meanwhile, she has on this egregious hat.
The hat is awful.
Danielle, this whole episode. And she's like, he always acted stupid and they never assumed how smart he was.
Right. And for some reason, Iva knows who this is.
Yeah.
He's like, yes, I do. And yeah, so she kind of pointed out that. She's like, some people like to act dumb. And Iva was like, Carolyn's doing that. So Ivar can figure things out, Derek.
You just got to lead him in the right way.
You got to be more explicit, but he came to the conclusion.
Use your words.
So they have that moment. But yeah, this hat is atrocious.
So bad.
And her hair looks awful.
She tried to say she wasn't worried about her look and she was just worried about being a messy traitor or something, or being a traitor.
I get it.
But I'm like, you did care because you put that hat on. That was somebody who cared, but it's bad.
I just don't get it because she had braids in, and so like there's a style where you can have braids and then you have like some locks of hair that are just not braided, but it looked like all of her braids were slowly coming undone because it was just hair at one point. I was like, Danielle, I don't know, are you washing it she must be washing it every day or something because it looks progressively worse.
Yeah.
It could be a sign of all the stress she's under too. I get that.
Probably, because I don't think they get much sleep there.
Yeah, and you're not getting wet, so like, why is I don't know. They got wet once.
Yeah.
That was it though. Oh, well, she probably had to wash it after the bugs.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe those 2 times? I don't know.
Maybe.
Sorry, Danielle. I don't like your hair.
It's okay though, Danielle. You'll be all right.
Yeah. You might win some money, sis.
This is true. But we get to the Roundtable. And Danielle was just telling us, poor Carolyn, because she's about to go in on her. And Carolyn's like, I'm going to have to speak and not think. I need to get Danielle out. So it's setting it up for the Carolyn versus Danielle. Mm-hmm. But Iva decides to kick it off.
Yes.
And he's like, I think there's 2 female traitors left. And I think, yes. And Gabby's like, we can't jump to that. No, we can't jump ahead. And Dylan's like, the game could change at any point. Like, we gotta just stay in the now.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, Ira, shut up.
I was just like, yeah, but that's just what I think.
It's like, got it.
I'm just sharing what I think.
We know. You said it. But no. But Carolyn then jumps in and she calls out Danielle and she's like, faithfuls don't have a reason to lie. And you lied to Brittany about saying that I said her name. And Danielle's like, it wasn't a lie. And you know what, Carolyn? You do this act where you act silly and dumb. And you know what? This Forrest Gump act has just come to an end. Like, I see right through it. And I'm like, damn, you didn't have to say all that.
So when it was happening, I didn't think about it like that, but you're right.
I could see if maybe she said your aloof or maybe your confused act. Or like, I don't know, but to say like dumb act when really this is just Carolyn, and then like to call her Forrest Gump.
That's a stretch, yeah. I get why you're thinking it's mean. I mean, I guess I've never heard hers. She says it in confessionals. Like, I know I am like this. Mm-hmm. I wonder if she says it out loud. Because if that's the case, then but I haven't heard her say it to the group. Like, right. I know I'm quirky and I know I'm like, Yeah. But I am smart. Like.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe she just could have used different words there, Danielle. But Dylan is just like, no, like I've watched Carolyn and like this is just how she is. And Danielle, who cut Carolyn off, is like, I'm going to finish and then I'm going to let you talk, okay? Because we're going to settle this right now. I was like, okay. And she says, look, there's so many tells in the game we had today. You put yourself in the chess game to throw people off. You were really aggressive towards me at that one round table where you called me out. And honestly, the reason I've been quiet for the past couple of days is because I've been scared. And I didn't want to say your name. And you were just so rude and so aggressive. And that's something that all the traitors have had in common, their aggressiveness and how they'll attack. And I've just been scared. So I haven't said it. And she like starts to kind of cry. And Carolyn's like, do not with the fake tears. I'm like, call it out. Call it out. And Carolyn's just like, I'm at a loss and I don't know what I did. And then she's just trying to plead her case, and Danielle's cutting her off. And Carolyn's like, can I please finish? And then Danielle's like, you're a silent assassin. And she's like, what? And then Tom kind of defends Carolyn because he's like, look, she had my back with the Rob thing. Like, I don't think she'd be a traitor. And Carolyn just cries about feeling ignored. And she's like, I'm not a silent assassin, some assassin or anything. Like, this is just how I am and like how my personality is. It's just like sad. She's just like bawling. And I'm like, oh, Carolyn.
Yeah. And I had to look really close. I was watching on my phone. I had to look really close, but she was like legit crying.
No, that was real crying. Danielle
just shakes and shit, but she was crying.
Yeah.
Carolyn was like legitimately upset. And I get that moment where you feel like you're backed in a corner and the jig is up. So you're just like, damn, bless you.
Oh, thank you.
Can't do anything else. Like, you're stuck. But also, like, her argument maybe her feelings were hurt.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
I think her feelings, and she was like caught off guard. And
yeah, go ahead.
No, she said before, she doesn't like plan things.
Yeah.
She's a little impulsive.
She is. And I think it didn't help that she was trying to talk and Danielle kept cutting her off. I didn't like that. I was like, just let her speak. Damn. Like, let her say something. But everything she said, Danielle would say something to it and just kept. So Carolyn didn't stand a chance.
She didn't. She did say in her Patreon, she said she was mad at the editing because apparently there was like more of a case she built against Danielle.
Oh, I'm sure, because later they say like, oh, Danielle brought a lot of good evidence, and I was like, I barely saw any. So she probably had more facts laid out that we didn't see. And
like, did I say Carolyn or Danielle's Patreon?
Yeah, you said Carolyn's Patreon.
I did. Okay, good.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Yeah.
But I was just saying that.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, like Danielle, I also think it's cut short because I feel like Danielle said more too.
Yeah, I just wonder what Carolyn would have said about Danielle then.
All the weird shit she was doing.
Probably the shaking and like the game.
Not my voice shake. Carolyn has a lot. Look, if I was Carolyn, and she probably did say this. Do y'all remember when Danielle didn't want to be safe? She was trying to save Derek and Dolores. Why? Because she needs allies. Why? Because she's a traitor.
Y'all saw her at that game where she was taking off her picture to put with everyone else's.
That's
She's
weird.
always shaking and stuff. Come on, y'all.
Yeah, and then I would have been like, the way that she's like only speaks up when she needs to defend herself, but never really speaks up any other time. Like, Danielle has looked guilty. Why is she always crying so much? Like, did you guys watch Big Brother? Well, I think I saw it. I'd be like, I watched Big Brother.
I saw
She never cried on Big Brother.
This is her MO. This is what she's doing. And she was on
reindeer games with Brittany. Brittany was there. Brittany, did she cry?
Bring it up.
I would do all of it, the whole nine. I'd bring up everything. But that picture game was very telling. This game told off Carolyn's game, but that game really exposed Danielle. And I'm sure people have been bringing her name up ever since, but she should have been out after that. She's lucky Rob was there to be a bigger target than her.
Yeah, it's people have said in interviews, like Derek said, like, I know it looks obvious to y'all because but really it didn't look that obvious that Danielle.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Makes sense, but still the challenge.
Right, that challenge move made no sense because that would have been a good time. I mean, we're seeing it in hindsight, but remember how she started crying and Dolores was like, don't do all that. They could have used that, like, she cries as like a way, like, to get something. She's not really crying for real. But if I was there playing a game with her and she cried every morning, I'd be like, damn, that's weird, but like, I guess she's just emotional. Right,
I guess that's her.
Because she got grandkids that she really needs to win for and stuff, you know?
I don't know. It's a lot going on with her. But Then there's the vote.
It's time to vote. So Carolyn in her confessional is like, she wasn't ready to defend herself, and she wonders if it's another life situation where she just isn't ready. So heartbreaking.
I know. She's like, I'm just one of those situations where I'm just not prepared. And I'm like,
I feel bad,
Carolyn.
Because remember, I told you that when we first knew Carolyn was on the cast, I was like, she is strategic, but she talks herself into a hole. Mm-hmm. And so, like, she kind of did that today. Not necessarily. She just said a little too much and did a little too much. Mm-hmm. So Carolyn votes for Danielle. Iva votes for Carolyn. Dolores votes for Tom. And I was like, did we miss something? We must have missed something.
We must have, because it was so random. I was like, that doesn't make any sense, but okay.
Danielle votes for Carolyn. Gabby votes for Danielle because she saw genuine tears from Carolyn that day. And then Tom votes for Dolores. And Brittany votes for Carolyn. So at this point, it's 3 votes for Carolyn, 2 for Danielle, 1 for Tom, 1 for Dolores. And it's Dylan who's the deciding vote. And I was like, I see. You guys have them sit in a specific order. And you wanted it to be a storyline where Dylan would have to pick between his 2 friends. Mm-hmm. Dylan looks like he wants to go home. Dylan doesn't want to be a part of this anymore. His face is red. He looks flustered. And he votes for Carolyn, and he's like, I really hope I'm wrong. I think he said he hopes
he's right, or else he's gonna feel awful.
He's gonna feel awful if he's wrong. So then we have the reveal. So all the votes are on Carolyn, and she stands in the circle of truth, and she says she is someone who every day of her life she is judged for who she is, for her differences, for her quirks. She didn't want to connect with a lot of them because she's an emotional person and she just wanted to come and have fun. But she has to get real with herself because being a traitor just isn't fun. I knew. I told you. No. Brandon has thrown a hat on his head. And he is cowering on the floor because that is what Danielle decided to do.
That was
as her reaction to this vote.
Danielle.
Everybody gets up. They're all shocked, whatever. Danielle jumps to a corner, is on the floor. They're showing people celebrating. Someone goes up to her like, yay! And she's just like, she's shaking.
Dolores was like, you did good. And Gabby's like, you did it. You did good. You did. And she's just like, I told you. It's like, huh?
She was coming for me and I had to go for her. And it was,
I'm like, Danielle.
She was like, I was gonna fight for my. I was like, Danielle, please. I mean, it makes sense because she's so dramatic, but damn.
It was a lot. I mean, I live for it. Thank you for the entertainment. But
I could have done without. That was a lot, girl. Just secondhand embarrassment.
It was. But I did, to bring it back to Carolyn, I really liked her reveal. I thought it was fun how she did it. She's like, I have to be real myself. Being a traitor isn't fun.
Yeah.
And I'm like, pop off, Carolyn.
Yeah. Because I thought she was just going to cry and like leave. But like she like wiped her tears and was like, being a traitor isn't fun.
Yeah.
And that's most clever way I think anybody has done it so far.
I agree.
But yeah, y'all, Danielle was on the floor being weird. And Alan comes back. He's like, get up. Sit down.
Sit down. What are y'all doing?
To talk about.
You idiots.
Danielle, get off the floor.
Pick your hat up.
Get your ass up.
Hey, calm down. This is not that serious.
Have some decorum. Do I have to say this to you again?
Why are you on the floor? What are we doing? I can't.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, everyone is just in awe because she played such a great game. Carolyn's like, I don't regret speaking up, and I never would have had anything rehearsed. I'd rather stay true to myself.
Yep.
And I'm like, period.
Yeah, and she says it feels good that she stayed true to herself. So I'm like, that's good.
Yeah.
I didn't think about like how much of what she was saying was so personal at the time.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you're a traitor. Like, I feel like maybe you felt the jig is up, but she seemed legitimately hurt about that. So I'm glad that she could say that she like at least felt good about something.
Yeah. And Danielle's like, I knew my debate would be strong because I was firm and I stuck with the facts. She's like hugging Brittany and being like, I'm glad you believe me. Yeah. I'm glad you believe me. And I'm like, this is just laying it on too thick.
Like, if she just sat down and like cried like quietly and then hugged everyone, that would have been fine. Or if she just like had her hand on her chest, like, oh my gosh. Like, but the falling on the floor,
it's just too much. I'm like,
if I was Danielle, I would often think about that moment and feel embarrassed.
No, right?
Do you do that? I do that all the time where like I'm like washing dishes and I'm like, oh, remember in 9th grade when you embarrassed? Oh, that's so embarrassing. Like, I would have that moment on repeat.
And it's on TV, streaming for everyone.
And
forever.
Everybody is like, was this girl on the ground for real?
She was. And that hat.
It's a pretty bad hat. It looks. She hasn't worn it yet.
No, she had wore like a different one time. She wore like a brown one once.
It looks like it should be folded up more. Like it's a bowl with a little swoop, right?
Yeah, it's like a bowl with like that, and then like a little something.
Yeah,
that's ugly.
It looked like she like extended. I don't know.
It's just not good.
Y'all need a hairstylist. Listen, it's. I mean, I guess she could do her own hair. Does it look like Gabby does her hair?
Probably. Hers isn't too crazy. Yeah, I would guess they do. I think they do because I think they get to their room at like 2 a.m. and have to be up by like 8.
Whew, that's why everybody's crying and shit. This is stressful.
They don't get a lot of sleep, so.
Yeah.
Oh no, but I'm wondering what their reunion looks are going to look like because they're about to film the reunion soon.
Oh, they are?
Because we just have episode 10 and then the next week they're releasing the finale and the reunion.
Wait, what do you mean they're about to film it?
They're about to film the reunion.
They haven't filmed it yet?
Not that I know.
And it's coming out in 2 to 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Oh.
They did that last time though. I don't know why. I think they don't edit it that much.
Oh, okay.
They kind of keep it straightforward. It's just one episode.
Lately, reunions have really sucked. So
yeah, it's not like the Housewives where they're like 3 parts. But Gabby tells Brittany and Tom that I think that was traitor on traitor fighting. Like it was giving very much like Boston Rob and Bob the drag queen. I'm like, period, it was. And Brittany's wondering. She's like, I do love Danielle, but can I trust her? Like, is the reason I'm not dead yet because I'm so close to Danielle?
Yeah.
And it's like, yes. Precisely. But then everyone goes to bed and then we see Danielle in the turret.
All alone.
She's like, finally.
Oh. That was my cue to start telling you what happened, but I didn't realize.
That's okay. We switched between scenarios.
We do. But I didn't pick it up. I wasn't picking up what he put down.
It's okay. You know what? We're nearing the end. It's all good.
So Danielle is in the turret. And she knows she's not going to be alone for long. She finally feels in control for the first time. And Alan walks in. He knocks on the door and he tells her that she gets to recruit an accomplice who has to meet her in the dungeon tonight. And they get an ultimatum to join her or die. And she also gets to murder a faithful. And I was like, damn, that's the best case scenario.
Right.
Because last time they had to recruit or murder, one or the other. And I felt like if they didn't recruit or if they didn't murder, it would look suspicious. But now they get to murder and recruit and nobody will know the difference.
Yeah.
So, because I guess Alan said it's a rule in the Traitors that if you get down to one, you get to recruit. So she writes down someone's name. We see the letter on the chair, and in walks Brittany. Brandon was right.
You have to be shitting me. You have to be shitting me. Are you fucking kidding me?
She's pissed.
What is this?
She's pissed.
I told you about that arm theory.
Yep. Brittany sees this letter and she's like, oh gosh, what is this? She opens it. She's like, the dungeon. Why don't you go to the dungeon?
She's upset because she's like, this is the worst time to like be recruited because it's the end of the game. Everyone's suspicious. And it is kind of. And I mean, at this rate though, it's either recruit or die.
Yeah.
So it's like you might as well just become a traitor.
And she's like, is it Danielle? Like, Danielle has been acting really weird, but like if Danielle recruited me, that would be so obvious. Huh.
It would be.
I didn't think about that. I was like, I know she wants Danielle, but like,
Yeah,
it is obvious.
Because they're already grouped together and suspected. So, like, it's not. Who, if you were... Because the episode ends basically, it's just like she's standing in front of Danielle and Danielle's like, has her hood over. But who would you have recruited if you were Danielle?
So you told me Dolores doesn't want to be... Maybe I would have recruited Gabby.
That wouldn't have been a bad one.
Because if Gabby can play it off, she'd be pretty great. And Dylan doesn't suspect her. And I don't think anybody really suspects Gabby at all. Or maybe Iva, but like... He's very unsuspecting too, but it's like, but can they play the game? Like, can they play the role? I feel like Brittany 100% can be a traitor.
Yeah. Brittany, yeah, because her name's already out there. Gabby would be a solid one. Mm-hmm. Or Dylan.
But I don't think he'd say yes.
Which means he'd die.
Oh, which is fine. Two people.
That's the thing. Double homicide.
That's so bad. You heard me? I like took it back trying to...
You did. I was like, you can't.
Double homicide.
If you know, you know. Jocelyn's going to be... I don't know if this is real or not.
Where?
On Euphoria, season 3.
Jocelyn?
Yeah.
Euphoria?
I know. Enough people were reporting and no one said it was a lie, so I feel like it's true.
Doing what?
Who are you coughing at? Who are you coughing at?
Rue, you sick again, bro?
Who are you coughing at me? You coughing at me?
All your dreams will be fulfilled. Also, they butchered the Euphoria cast. Like, the mom is not back, the sister's not back.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
The guy who played Elliot is not back.
Who?
Season 2, the guy that Jules cheated on, Rue.
Oh, Dominic Fike?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was. He's not?
No, he's not coming back. I'm pretty sure Barbie's not coming back.
Oh, yeah, because she kind of left in season 2-ish.
Yeah.
I liked her,
They kept her, but they just didn't, like, really give her a storyline. Mm-hmm. So I guess, I don't know who's Rue living with if her mom's not there. Or she's just going home and coming back. I don't know.
I
have a feeling Euphoria is going to suck now.
Probably,
it's giving me that vibe. Like, ooh,
I don't know why they're still trying.
And why the fuck would you bring Jocelyn? You have great actors and a great story. Jocelyn?
We need her.
Doing what?
I don't know. Doing anything.
Brandon!
We'll see.
Even her intro to her own show is awful. Welcome to Jocelyn's Cabaret.
I wanna ride.
Her music is so bad.
I love it. In an ironic way.
Why did we start talking about Jocelyn?
Good question.
I can't remember where we were. It's fine.
We were talking about who to recruit.
Oh, yeah.
Dylan. Oh, yeah, because double homicide.
Oh.
Dylan, because Dylan, if he died, he's low-key suspects. I wouldn't be surprised if he still suspects Danielle.
I'm sure he does, yeah.
So, I mean, that could be something. And it could cover Danielle if he were to die. Because it's like, oh, like, they're close. So why would she kill him? Mm-hmm. But also, if you have him as a traitor, you could build a case that wouldn't a good traitor be the one who seems the most faithful? Like, there's a way. Like, maybe there should have been seeds planted about that before. But maybe it's already late enough in the game where people can get paranoid quick.
Yeah, because I think that they could say that about Tom.
Oh, yeah.
They could plan.
Tom, I have a feeling, will be banished before the fire.
I hope so.
Same. I don't want to. I don't care about the casuals.
Because he's going to ruin the reunion, talk about himself.
Yes, and I know some people are like, I'm enjoying Tom on the Traitors. It's like, we can enjoy Tom on the Traitors, but that doesn't mean he's enjoyable anywhere else. We can compartmentalize. I don't like. I'm having a hard time enjoying him on the Traitors because he's him. That part.
Anyway, yeah, I think I would have recruited Gabby for sure.
Yes, I agree.
I think she would have been able to play it off, and I would gladly split the money with her. But I don't think it's going to be a situation where anyone is splitting anything.
Yeah, no, and I have a feeling either Danielle or Brittany. Danielle, I wouldn't be surprised if she's banished next episode.
Yeah, she should be. Yeah.
So we'll have to see.
We'll have to see.
But in the preview, it shows someone's gonna be able to win the power of the seer.
Yeah, which I'm assuming means that they get to maybe like hide and see, like, or like be giving access to something that's helpful. And it looks like it's the last roundtable.
Yeah. But I think that's it for today's episode.
Yeah, some of y'all were shouting us out a little bit.
Yes,
we got
a review, which we said this in our Summer House one, but in case you're not following Summer House, we'll shout this person out for the traitors. But S_VONNE1, S_Vaughn1, I'll say it like that. February 12th, 2025. She wrote, "Great show," gave us 5 stars, and said, "Love the show. It would be great for you to review Deal or No Deal Island Season 1 has Boston Rob. I need to hear your opinion," smiley face. And, we might at some point cover Deal or No Deal Island. I've heard good things.
Yeah, I saw a clip of him playing. So it'd be cool. Oh, Brandon, I didn't tell you. I've been watching House of Villains.
Oh, yeah.
This show is so funny.
Are you watching season 1 or 2?
1.
Okay. Who was it?
Bobby Lights.
Oh, yes.
Bobby or Johnny Bananas. New York.
Love her.
That girl from I Ain't Get No Sleep Because of Y'all from
Tanisha.
Bad Girls Club. And then one of the girls, Kareen, she's from The Bachelor. She's so funny.
Oh, yeah.
And then someone random from 90 Day Fiance who's also pretty funny.
Okay.
And then Shake from Love Is Blind.
Okay, isn't Jax on it too?
Jax was the first out. That's why I can't remember him. But yes,
he should.
He was so stupid. He was like, they were getting ready to banish him. He like cried. He's like, she called me a demon. And I'm like, who is that?
Shut up.
Yeah, this was when he was like, I'm a father and a husband and I love my life. 2 years later.
Separated.
Hates his life.
Father, not great.
He's like, I did the ultimate thing. I cheated on my partner. I think I've cheated on every girl I've been with. Yeah, this is great to say right after you got done saying how much you love your wife and kid. But that show is funny too. That would be. I was thinking like they've been coming out with a lot of cool new reality TV shows.
They have. Season 2 had Wes in it.
Yeah, I saw that.
And like Safari. New York came back.
Yeah, I saw
Teresa from Jersey.
Oh, wow.
I saw clips, but I didn't watch the full episode.
It's just funny, man. They just rag on the cast like the whole time. The production is very much like you see the fourth wall, and we're making fun of them. It's funny. Yeah. But I also saw the show. It's called I don't remember, but you have two people. Your trio. One of you is like in the woods, extracted.
Okay.
That one seemed interesting. So like let's say it's me, you, and Astra. I'm in the woods, and you guys have to like compete to help me like survive. Basically like Hunger Games.
Okay.
But if I am like at my wit's end, I can ask you to extract me. Okay. But then we would lose. Yeah. So I guess, but you still have to choose to do it or not. You could let me suffer. So it's basically, it reminds me a lot of, basically looks like the Hunger Games, the way they're set up. Damn. But I saw this clip of this guy who it was his parents, and he's like cussing them clean out. He is like, if I'm not extracted by tomorrow, y'all are gonna, and it's like, you're threatening your parents. Damn. So a lot of cool shows are coming out. But Deal or No Deal was one of the newer ones that like seemed interesting too.
Yeah, so that one's on like Peacock. They got Parvati and Dr. Will.
Yeah, and I think it's mostly for reality TV people, so that wouldn't be bad to check out.
I think they have a lot of random people too.
Oh, really?
I think. But then it's always... The only clips I ever see, though, are Parvati and Dr. Will. So I don't know. But yeah, they got some good stuff coming out, and it's out now.
Yeah. So thanks for the review and the recommendation.
Yes, we love that. And you know who else should be given a review? You.
Whoever's listening right now.
Whoever's listening, whoever's watching. Go on our Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Give us 5 stars. On Apple Podcasts, you can write the review. We love that. But also, if you would like to see our beautiful faces instead of just listening, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Shade of It All Podcast. You can also follow us our TikTok at the Shade of It All Podcast. We post a bunch of clips, and we're also posting more on our Instagram at the Shade of It All Pod. Thank y'all so much. Talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.